minus 1 equals 3x minus 2. Now there are other forms you could use, but why would you ever do something other than slope point when you have a slope and a point? Give yourself 1 for all of these. Y minus 4 equals negative 2/5 x plus 1. Just follow along. You don't listen to the announcements anyway. Slope of 2, x-intercept of 3. That is 3, 0. Y minus 0 equals 2, x minus 3. You don't need the 0 there, but if you left it there, you can still have the full mark. You also could have had y equals 2x minus 6. X-intercept of 3, 3. Y-intercept of 4, 4. Slope, negative 4/3. Y-intercept of 4.
Please come pick up your permission form in RA210. Permission forms are due by December the 5th.
Hey Panthers! On December 18th, we have a grad versus staff hockey game. If you're interested in participating in human bowling on ice and more at the game, come to Mr. Dudok's room 8 to 11 at lunch on Wednesday, December 4th for more information and sign up.
And also, we're planning basketball action in the big ticket tournament.
Very tricky. Number or letter G.
And they say math. And I also know that our junior boys and junior girls are also in semifinal action.
Slope of 5/6. So
come out there and show your Panther spirit and support our 3 basketball teams that are in the big ticket semifinals. Go Panthers!
Easiest way, I think, to do
all
it.
Junior girls basketball and all junior boys football who didn't come yesterday to come to the stage at lunch with their jerseys for filming. Thank you.
Hey guys, with pep rally just around the corner, it's next week, Friday. The leadership team has something new to present to you guys this year. We're going to be hosting something called a spirit stick. It's something really cool, but there's one thing. Only one grade group can win it this year. So the best grade with all the hype, which means coming before on the morning of to decorate your grade hallway, showing the most hype, and being the best dressed, you guys can win the spirit stick. Make sure to check out the small posters all around the hallway, and whoop, whoop.
I'll show your school spirit. Those are your morning announcements. Have a great day, Panthers, and back to learning.
Line 2 slope, then, is negative 1/2. They intersect on the y-axis, so what does that mean? They share a y-intercept. Y-intercept is 8, so line 2 is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 8. That exact question was in your notes on a review for the last unit. That exact question. Now, Mr. Sadu has finished talking. Did anybody have any questions about the first page? It's all point, slope, form, or slope intercept, right? Now, this one, a few people asked me questions about. Again, there are 2 lines. Line 1 is this. 2x plus y plus 6 equals 0. So y equals negative 2x minus 6. Right? The other line is perpendicular to that. So what is line 2's slope? No. Line 1 is negative 2. Oh, what did you say? Oh, okay. I only heard I heard negative 2. It is 1/2. Now you have a slope and a point. So line 2 is y plus 4 equals 1/2 x minus plus 1. These are worth 2 each. Forgot to plug in my that excellent tech advice to turn it off and turn it on again. It went flickery again, and turning it off and turning it back on didn't work. So I had to then go to Google and find out that it is a common problem with these particular machines because they suck. If you leave it plugged in all the time, it overheats. So, you know what never overheated? My iPad. But, iPads are expensive. Apparently it is still recording, so we might be okay. So that was also out of 2. This one's going to be out of 3 because you got to draw 3 lines. Line A will be red. Where does it go? I go to -3. I'm not on the screen yet. I go to -3. 1, 2, 3. Up 2. 1, 1, 2. And the slope is 2/5. Up 1, 2. Right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what your first line should look like for 1 mark. Your second line, B, which will be blue, goes through -2, -1, and has a parallel slope. So up 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, goes over there, and they are parallel. Third one goes through -2, -1, and is perpendicular. So it must be up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and right 1, 2, and must look like that for 3 marks. Making that first page out of 8 and that second page out of 2, 4, 7. Which graph represents this? Well, is the slope positive or negative? So can it possibly be B? No, because B has a positive slope. It goes through 6. Can it be A? No, because A goes through 4. Could it be B? Or C, I mean? No, because C goes through 5. Is it D? Of course it is, because that's the only one that goes through 6 with a negative slope. Oh, yes, C does go through 6. I agree. I thought that was 5. But regardless, this is too steep a slope for that. Put this in general form. Get rid of the fraction. How do you get rid of the fraction? Multiply by what you want to get rid of, which is 4. 4y equals x plus 8. Then move everything to one side. X minus 4y plus 8. Hey, D, there it is. A lot of people asked about this question as well. The line goes through there. That is 1 point on the line, yes? To make an equation, I need a point and a slope, don't I? Do I have a slope that goes with A yet? No, but I know it is parallel to this slope. So what do I do with these numbers? Find the slope. -2 over -8, which is 1/4. Now I have a slope that goes with that point, right? Y minus 10 equals 1/4 x minus 8. Uh-oh, these are all in slope-intercept form. Fix it. All kinds of ways you could do it. I would, of course, because 4 works nicely with 8, in this case, I would distribute. But you don't need to. You can get rid of the 4 first. I would distribute it because it works so well. 1/4 of 8 is, of course, 2. Y equals 1/4 x. Bring that over, plus 10 plus 8. D. All these are, of course, worth 1 mark. Number 8. I need the value of K. What is K? An X or a Y? It is a Y. What is that? An X or a Y? That's another Y. What is that? That is an X. What is that? That is an X. What uses 2 X's and 2 Y's? Slope. M equals K minus 14 over 27 minus 12. But I don't know the slope. But I do know the slope because it is perpendicular to this line. This line is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. What is this line slope? Negative 5/4. What is a perpendicular slope to that? It's already negative 5/4. I want perpendicular. 4/5. And what do I do with the sign? I change it. So that equals k minus 14 over 27 minus 12 is 15. Solve that. How do you solve every single piece of algebra that is fraction equals fraction? Cross multiply. 60 equals 5k minus 70. Yeah? Bring the 70 over here. 130 equals 5k. And k equals 26? 26 times 5? Yes, 26. 4-1 mark, because there was only one. You know what? Take 2, because you had to remember how to do algebra. What is that slope? How do you find slope? It's a tricky question. I worded it this way on purpose. I said when graphed, because a bunch of kids sit here and they make the graph. Do you need to? No. What is the only thing you need to do to find a slope ever? Starts with an I, ends with a T, has solat in the middle of it. Isolate what letter? Y, because once Y is isolated, what is the slope? Whatever is with X, right? So isolate Y. 7Y equals negative 4X. Y equals negative 4/7 X. Do I care about the 10? No, because I was only asking about the slope. So it is B, as in, boy, that was easy, and boy, I wish Myers hadn't put the word graphed in there. How many of you actually graphed that? Oh, good. How many of you actually did the question? Oh, okay. And I think that's it, isn't it? Making that last page out of 3, that page out of 1, 2, 3 is 6, and 7 is 13, and 8 is 21. Test is tomorrow. This stuff will obviously be helpful on that test tomorrow. Yes, that's why I did it. And we're going to start the next unit today because the first part of the next unit is graphing again. So we will get more graphing practice before your test tomorrow. I gave you 2 reviews. I gave you this. And now I'm giving you more graphing practice. Should this be the best test we write all year? Yes. Why? Because it's the most important test we write all year from a mathematical perspective. Going forward in math, this unit is utterly key. Aight? Second only to the polynomials unit of factoring and distribution. Those are the 2 biggies. Systems. I do not know. I have not obviously made this with your new book yet. So the page numbers will be a little wonky. What page are you people on? 171. So that's what page you will be on now, except I have it as page 237. Do you have the fun, cool font? Oh, it worked this time. Nice. Okay. This is a new term for you, yes? Okay. But you speak English, most of you at a decent level. What does a system entail in English? Forget about math class. If I say, I've got a system, what does that mean? Go ahead, Addison.
A routine way of doing something?
A routine way of doing something, yes? Okay. Is there only one step to a system? No. All right, good. So we know what a system means, yes? All right, so what's an equation? Don't give me an example. What is an equation? Amelia? Yes, obviously, because it's a system of equations. So obviously, since a system has moving parts, and this is a system of equations, I must have some equations in it. Agreed? Okay, so what is an equation? If nobody can think to give me the definition of an equation, somebody give me an example of an equation. I'll take it. Jacqueline. Sure, that's a good equation. Y equals mx plus b. Can you solve that equation right now? Why not? What? It's all letters, right? You could move it around. You could solve for x, make x by itself. You could solve for y is already by itself. You could solve for m, you could solve for b. You could do all that, yes? But you cannot solve the equation because you cannot tell me the one single answer to it, right? So, how can we refine our definition of an equation to something that we can work with? 2 times 2 equals 4. Lovely. That is an equation, yes? But it's already solved. Yeah? Okay. So now, make me an equation that I need to do some work on to solve it. Braden. 2x equals y. Lovely. Now, can I solve that? No, I cannot. Why? Because I've got two unknowns, right? I can't solve that because I can have any number for x, which would change the value, wouldn't it? Okay. Now somebody give me an equation that I can actually solve. Braden, S equals 10. That is an equation I can solve. Agreed? Why? Jacqueline. I only have one unknown. Everybody cool? Now, let me ask you this. That is one equation. Is it a system? No, because we decided a system needs more than one part, yes? Okay, so let's talk. A system of equations is what? It's a group of equations. Now, what is our job whenever we have an equation? What are we trying to do with it? Solve it, right? How many answers are there to this blue thing? 1. What is that answer? 5. We can solve it, right? Okay. So, a system of equations, a group of equations which may or may not have a solution. What? How could it not have a solution? Well, let's do this. There is one equation, agreed? Here is a second equation. 3x equals 7. I'm going to highlight it in blue because it's part of the system. What is the solution to the 2x minus equals 10? 5. What is the solution to the red one? 3x equals 7. Pardon me? Of course it would be. What is the solution to the red one? Don't tell me you can't do algebra. What is your job? I know you know how to do it. But I would like to think somebody who's been through 9 years of school in Canada could solve this one-step algebra equation. You can't answer either, Braden. What is it? Right. So x equals 7/3, right? So this has a solution. This has a solution. But does the whole system have a solution? Is there an x value that works for the entire system? No. Does everybody understand? Let me give you another one and see if you can put this together. 3x equals 9. Yeah? 2x equals 6. Is there a solution to that system? What is it? 3. X equals 3. Solution to this system? No. Does everybody see how I can have a system that does not have a solution? Even though both equations have a solution, as a group, it does not. Is everybody cool? Yeah? Okay. So, what is a linear equation? How do I make a linear equation? Hint, we've just spent 3 units working on them. What is a linear equation? Three units. The last 3 units have been linear equations. What do they look like? Three units. Gersahil. X's and Y's. Lovely. Okay. What do those X's and Y's do in a linear equation? Hey, they form a line. Yeah? Okay. A linear equation is, and there should be an N there, an equation with at least how many variables? I need 2 to draw a line. 1 variable. With at least 1 variable that can graph a straight line. Agreed? Okay, so now we have 2 new definitions. What must a linear system be? Multiple equations that make a single line? There you go. A linear system is a group of at least how many? Of at least 2 linear equations which what? What's missing from my definition? It's a system, group of at least 2 linear equations which graph straight lines, and what's the last part of this definition? Put it together. Read both definitions we've already written and tell me how to finish off this bottom one, which I'm going to change the color of, if it will let me. No, it didn't. What is missing from our previous 2 definitions when we synthesize them? What? There you go. Which graph straight lines and may or may not have a solution. Now, you people, through these 2 examples, have already shown me that they have no solution for the blue and a solution for the green. Yes? We're all cool with that, right? So what does it mean when I say to solve a linear system? What are you trying to find? Jacqueline. Right. You are trying to, means to find values for all variables that do what? Because we found the variables in the blue system, didn't we? But did that system have a solution? Did that system have a solution? But we found all the variables, right? So what is the difference between the blue and the green? Because the blue one, we could not solve it. Gersale.
Because the blue one is only a single step. It only has one equation in it, but the green one has multiple equations.
blue one has two equations. I can see them right there. There's one, there's two. They both have solutions. One is 5 and one is 7/3. Jacqueline. There you go. Find values for all the variables that work for all the equations. Does everybody understand? Is everybody cool? So, I'm going to give you one more, a super easy one. I'm do it in purple. You will solve it. Is that a system? Is it? Is it more than one equation? So is it a system? Can you solve it? What is it? X equals what? 2. Why?
Because 2 times 2 plus 7 is 13.
Yep.
And 7 minus 2 times 4 is 3.
Right. Does everybody understand what we are doing? The answer is X equals 2. Is everybody good? Okay. Why was that super easy? Like, it can be done in your head even, yeah? Why? What about that makes it super easy? Small numbers, okay. What else? Jacqueline? Yeah. What if I told you it was this? 3x plus y equals 13 and y minus 2x equaled 3. Barf! Correct? Okay, let's deal with how to solve these yellow ones, because you all can solve the easy ones, yeah? Now remember, there's 3 ways to do this. We're only doing graphing today because that will reinforce what's on our test tomorrow, yeah? Okay, so you're smart kids. There is a red line, yes? What do you know about that line? Does it have an equation? Obviously. We know that will be something like, that looks like it's about the same up and right, yeah? So that would have a slope of positive 1, agreed? Yeah? And that looks like about negative 2, yeah? So that line would be y equaled x minus 2. Are we cool with that? What do we know about every single point on that line? They will be all what? They will all, yeah, between them they'll have the same slope. What else? Each point has an x and a y, doesn't it? And what will we know about those points? They're numbers. Okay, so this point right here, for example, is 2, 0, correct? What can I do with 2, 0? 2 is an x, 0 is a y. What can I do with it? I don't need to make it an equation. I have an equation. What can I do with that? What letter do you see there? Do you know what number I want you to put there? If this graph wasn't here, do you know what number to put there? No. Do you now know what number to put there? What can you put there? 2. 2 minus 2 is what? Which is what my y value is, okay? So I'll ask again. What do you know about every single dot on that line? What can you do with its coordinates? Jacqueline. Substitute them back into the equation. And will they work? Yes. Will this point over here work on my red equation? No, it will not. Why? Because it's not part of the line that goes with the linear equation. Everybody cool? Everybody good, right? Okay, so this is only one line. Is this a system of equations yet? No, it's not. If I put another line on here, what do I know about every single dot on that blue line? No, it is not perpendicular because we have not found any slopes. What do I know about every single dot on that blue line? It's the same thing I know about every single dot on the red line. What do I know? What are those dots composed of? X's and Y's. Is that blue line going to give me the same equation? No, it's going to give me a different equation, isn't it? And that different equation is going to have X's and Y's in it, isn't it? Well, what do you notice about that particular point? Jacqueline. A point cannot be perpendicular. That single point, what do you know about it? Gersil. The blue line and the red line intersect there, which means that point is it a blue X and a Y? Is it on the blue line? So is it a blue X and a Y? Yes. Is it on the red line? So is it a red X and a Y? Are they the same? So what would that point be? It is a solution to which line? Both lines. So doesn't that make it the solution to the system? What if I added a third line? Is that point a solution to all three? Why? Because they all go through that point. That point is on all the lines. Is everybody cool? Yeah? Okay, so if you'd read, you would have seen. To solve with a graph, you find where the lines cross. Because where they cross is the X and a Y that works on both lines, right? So, step one, to graph it, we change to slope-intercept form. M is the slope, and B is the y-intercept. Somebody give me any equation in slope-intercept form. Just say one. That's not slope-intercept form. Y equals 2x plus 4. Everyone agree? Yeah? Okay. Everyone's cool? Okay. I'm going to give you a second one. Let's see. 3x plus y equals 14. Solve it. What do I need to do with my red line? Graph it. How do I graph that? Find the y-intercept, which is what? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what? Slope, which is? What's the slope? Pardon? 2 over 1. So up 2, 1, 2, over 1. Agreed? Everyone cool? So, and I could go down 2 and left 1. Yeah? Okay, what do I do with the blue one? Isolate that y. So what does it become? So how do I graph that? I would go up to positive 14 way up here and down 3 and over 1, right? So down 3 over 1. Oops, sorry, that was way too far. Down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. And what would I see? There's a cross right there, yes? Is that intersection a red XY? Is it a blue XY? Are they both the same? So the solution to the system would be purple XY, where they crossed. Everybody cool? That's just sketched. Let's do it properly with a nice graph. All right, turn the page over. How do I graph the red line? I am shocked by the silence, since you're writing a test on this in under 24 hours. There are 30 of you in the room. Somebody should be able to tell me how to graph that red line. Awesome. I've done such good work over the last 3 units. Thanks, Braden. 1 person out of 30 can do something. How do I graph that? Positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep going, Braden. I don't care anymore. You might as well finish it off. And that line will continue on forever, yes? That's a crap line. I'm going to use the straight line tool because why not? Braden, how do I do the blue one? So, work with me. Yes? Where do I go to graph that? Oh, what happened right there? I intersected. What is that point? Two. Now, what letter does that 2 represent? X. What letter does that 2 represent? What letter do you see right there? What letter do you see right there? Is 2 plus 2 4? So did that solution work for the red line? Yes. Is negative 2 plus 2 times 2, which is 4, is negative 2 plus 4, 2. So did it work for the blue line? So is this the solution? Yes, because it works in both of them. Is there ever a reason for you to doubt if you have the right answer? No, because you will go and check it. If it doesn't work in both equations, do you have the right answer? No. Let's do the second one. What do I need to do to graph the red line? Might as well start, Braden, because nobody else is going to talk. Red or blue, it doesn't matter. We're going to end up doing both of them, right? Okay. Okay. The whole what? Why has this become positive? Because 2 negatives divide to a positive. Why has this become negative? Because I divided by negative 2. Can I graph that now? Where do I go, Pardeep? 6 where? On the X? On the y, I go to negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then where? Up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then? Pardon me? 2 to the right. And that will continue on forever in both directions, yes? How do I do the blue one? Isolate y. So why don't you go ahead and do that, Gersa Hill, so I don't feel like stabbing this pen through my eye. How do I graph that? Uh-huh. Down 2 and right 1. Oh, and look what happened right there. What is that value? Two, negative 3. Mr. Myers, did I do it right? Kid, did you check it? No. How do you check it? Is 6 minus 2 times minus 3 is positive 6, yes? Is 6 plus 6 12? Last time I checked. Is 4 plus negative 3 1? Last time I checked. So do we have the right answer? Excellent. Now, look at the third one. You have never seen, or most likely, you have never seen that first equation. If you're from another country, you have seen this. Some of you will have, some of you won't have. How many of you have never seen that? Okay. Remember, I am not teaching you this to show you what this means. I am teaching you this to show you something with the graph, okay? So what I'm about to show you isn't important that you know it, but when we graph it, it's going to be important. Everybody cool? All right. This means absolute value. All right? Absolute value is a value like distance. Does it matter what direction I go? No, I just go a distance, correct? So numbers can go in how many directions? 2, positive or negative, right? So there is 0, there is 2. I went positive 2, correct? Now over here would be negative 2, correct? I took 2 steps to get to negative 2. Everybody cool? The absolute value is how far I went to get where I stopped. All right? So this is 2, but the absolute value is 2 because it took 2 steps to get there. So what is this absolute value? Also 2 because I took 2 steps to get there. Everybody cool? That's all it means. So if I'm out here at 75, what's the absolute value of this number? Absolute value is 75. Now, if I start walking to the left and I take 75 steps, how far have I traveled? 75. So it's the same. Everybody cool? All right. That's not really important, but what's important is how it's going to graph. All right? So, if we were going to graph this, you all know how to graph that, right? Whatever I put for x, I have the same thing for y. Agreed? So if I put x is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, what's y? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 0, 0. Yes? Now, if I have this, and I put a negative 1 in there, how far did I travel to get to negative 1? In absolute value. How many steps was it to get to negative 1? 1. So what is my y value? 1, because the absolute value of negative 1 is 1, because I took 1 step to get there. So negative 1, what's my y value? Positive 1. Negative 2, what's my y value? Positive 2, because I took 2 steps to get there. Negative 3, 3. And it makes this V shape. Because I can never have a negative value for y, can I? Because every value in there for x is a positive number because it's the distance from 0. Everybody cool? And again, that's not what's important. It just made a different kind of graph, right? Now, can we graph this one normally? How would I graph that? I'd go up 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis, and then what? Up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, and what happened right there? I hit the purple line, yes? At 6, 6, yes? What else can I do here? Go back 1, down 1, and left. What happened right there? I hit it again at negative 2, 2. So what does that tell us? Can a system have more than one solution? Yes, depending on the graph. Every time the lines touch, it makes a solution. So what is the solution to this system? 6, 6, and negative 2, 2. And we check. Is the absolute value of 6, 6? If I walked out to 6 on the number line, did I take 6 steps? So it works there, right? Is half of 6, which is 3, plus 3, 6. So it worked there. If I go negative 2 steps on the number line, did I take 2 steps to get there? So it worked here, yes? What's half of negative 2? Negative 1. What's negative 1 plus 3? Positive 2. So it worked there. Does everybody understand? So remember, it's not the V that I care about. It's the fact that sometimes graphs may touch more than once. So there would be how many solutions? 2 in this case. Every time the graphs touch. Everybody cool? So watch. In grade 11, you're going to do stuff like this. Actually, in grade 12. A parabola with a line. How many solutions? 2. Okay. I'm going to add another line. Now how many solutions? Really? Furio? 2? The solution is where the lines cross. 1. Because this red line and this curve and the blue straight line only touch there. Everybody cool? What about this one? Now how many solutions? 2. Everybody agree? Okay, what if I drew this green line through there? Now how many solutions? Still 2, right? What if I put this pink line right there? Now how many solutions? Just 1. Even though this pink line is going to hit the red way down here, isn't it? Right? And it's going to hit this blue way up over here, isn't it? The only time they all hit is there. Everybody cool? What about something like this? Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Agreed? What if I added that? Now how many? Just 2, because the gold, the blue, and the pink only meet there. Everybody cool? If they cross, you have a solution. Now, can anybody see a problem with using graphing to solve systems? Pardon me? It's not really accurate, is it? Like in all our examples, we happened to hit right on a point, didn't we? But what if they crossed there? Do you know that exact point? No. Can you give me an idea? Yeah, but you can't give me the exact number. So, of course, there's 3 ways to do it, right? There must be a more accurate way to do it, which is what we are going to work on Monday. Okay? So I want you to practice with graphing, page 2, oh, it's not page 239. Whatever page it is for you people. 173. And when do I want to talk about that? Tomorrow's a test. Monday. What if you finish your test early tomorrow? What should you do? Work on this. Everybody good? Lunch is at, I don't know when, 10 minutes?